still getting used to it, and so that might be one of the bigger weaknesses for XL2 coming into this.
Well, we're live. We're back in game, and Jaro has immediately taken down Clone Man. Of course, as just one clone of many, but for now it gives EnVision the edge as they move into this fight. You're down a tank, it's very hard to keep an edge, and the problem for XL2 is that they didn't get good damage at the back line immediately. They just lost Mangachu and Goliath, the dive working out well, and even though iShiny gives us life for that, now you get into the war of attrition, right, where Buds has room to work, respawns are going to be coming in. XL2, it's super unlikely they're going to be able to pull this back.
Yeah. Already one tick going over for them as Clone Man is trying his best to keep this alive, but the first tick goes on over. Midnight and Clone Man have fallen. Flower will be the next to go as Buds gets that heads-up battle up against him. And just like that, EnVision, it only took them just over a minute to get that first point. They're moving in, but it's gonna be Buds now with that pulse bomb.
And EnVision, this is gonna be a very quick engage. They're not gonna be waiting a lot of time going, oh, let's just decide. It's like, no. You have an edge here, so they're going to give it just a moment. Everyone gets on the high ground, and then they're just going to dive in. They're not going to wait too long. Bud's going to look for the quick pulse bomb strike. Moves in and gets it. Goliath is out of there early on in the fight. The 6-on-5 up for EnVision, and oh my goodness, Clone Man isolated. 3 kills to none for EnVision as they start moving on to the point. Midnight, one of the last hopes, and he's going to be gunned right down.
He does have the self-destruct though, but he gets cut down as soon as he gets out of his mech, and now as they try to leave the spawn, Jaro tries to play Balancer, but it's in the face of a Winston. Transcendence is there to keep him alive, but Buds has fallen.
Adam had a nice heads-up play there. Getting rid of the Tracer is one of the best ways of bringing this back. Now, EnVision really working with a high edge here, but XL2, Transcendence buys time. Let's respawns get back out here. Mitigates the worst of the sound barrier. You've lost Goliath, but Clone Man's back in. Primal rages before getting bursted down, and well, again, buy time for XL2. Sends Zenyatta on a ride. Midnight's back on the point. Now, here's the problem. Clone Man does need to bring himself back. Midnight is down. Got to get back in. That's what Clone Man's doing here as Goliath comes out on the emergency. It's not pretty from XL2, but they can still fight this back.
They are stalling this out, but they have lost so many bodies. Goliath comes up with 2, and Flower swapping off now onto that Widowmaker is helping them swing this back in their favor now, but Jaro, once again, with the blade, will get the D-Mech, but he has to hit the evacuate button, and he is out of there. No, he gets stomped down by Clone Man. Somehow, XL2 hold on.
And I think key for XL2 is that they got ults up in the right timings. They were able to stall just enough with, bringing player after player out, and in the end, EnVision wasn't able to get the clean sweep they're looking for, but they did get away with a tick, if nothing else.
That clutch swap-off coming out from Goliath, going onto that Mei. You have to remember, the Icicles, they do a lot of damage, and you have a lot more Icicles in your clip. We are playing on that patch with the Mei buffs. And so Flower, he's already built up the inverse side. It's going to be difficult for EnVision to make their way on in, especially after McGravy gets demeched.
Yeah, McGravy's out of there immediately, and XL2 just very much on cruise control for the defense here. I don't even think they need the nano boost. Clement says, all right, whatever. EnVision now has to sort of regroup and go, how do we get through Hanamura last?
Using that nano boost though, Adam is now going to go ahead and swap off onto the Mercy, so he does have a little bit more maneuverability. It's going to allow him to pocket Goliath, when the dive comes out onto them. Still, this is the great moment for them to actually make that swap, because Jaro, he doesn't have the blade yet, but, he doesn't have the bomb quite yet. He will be able to build it up quite quickly. Vision making their way in from the left-hand side.
They get half a tick for free. XL2 dives in off the top. They lose iShiny immediately as McGravy looking for Clone Man. Discord Orb. Clone Man just going to lead the other way. Ends up falling, but time was bought here. Vision decides, okay, we're going in, later Transcendence, and look, they got 2 picks, why not? Pulse Bomb out, and EnVision still doing okay here. Adam's out of the fight, Bud's a bit under pressure, but if they can get Clone Man, they can get a little bit of progress. They're still applying what is needed here to get the point in the moment. They have everyone back up and in the fight, and Ice Ball or no, Jaro brings out the blade, gets blown up, but it's only 1 lost and still 5 on the point.
Second tick has gone on over. No one's
they don't get out!
Clone Man actually gets dislodged from his jump there as McGravy uses his booster to body block him. And so, they will be able to get the point, will EnVision, and now it's going to be XL2 on the offense.
Really could have been much worse for XL2. With how that started, that could have been a 5 to 6 minute time buffer. 3 minutes and 21 seconds is still quite fast, but again, could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, EnVision moved on to point B with 7 minutes. They slowed it down just a little bit. Jaru, Buds had the pulse bomb. Jaru was still building up to his blade, and yeah, still, we got to talk about Jaru, though. He's been having the Genji games of his life now, and he's doing it when it counts.
And this is what we've known Jaru can do, even back to EnVision playing in Contenders of 2017. And like I said, I don't really lavish praise on players unless it is warranted. I feel like you have to have credibility there. You have to call players when they're doing poorly. You have to call out when they're doing well, but do so rightly. Jaru is one of the few players, I will say, I think legitimately missed out on OWL Season 1 and probably could have been there if things had gone a different way. So the fact that Jaru was still putting on really consistent progress should not be coming as a surprise.
Yeah, he's definitely making a case for himself so far, especially if you take a look at this series up against XL2. I mean, his blades have been absolutely stellar. I believe in one of those engagements, he started the fight with the blade, ended the fight with the blade, had to leave ultimately because Goliath just came up with the clutch headshots with the Mei swap-off, the last-minute Mei swap-offs. But Jaru now, I mean, most of his blades have struck home.
Now, looking at the XL2 offense, I do wonder if this is for real. I mean, it's Mangachu. It would not surprise me. Don't see a Hanzo too often on Hanamura, but if anyone can make it work, it'd be Mangachu.
And I think with a lot of Contenders teams trying to go for that early defense on different maps, it's not, you know, out of the question for Mangachu to go onto this Hanzo, get a Sonic Arrow off, swap off. Nope. He's going to go ahead and run with it. He's going to have the damage boost of Adam there with the pocket, so everyone has to be careful.
And all you need is one arrow. Of course, he was going for the dream of the Genji pickoff. Not going to get that here immediately. Instead, turns the corner, and look at how much respect EnVision has to give this. They're not challenging it as aggressively as they normally would, and that gives XL2 an opening. They're going to come around the left side, and EnVision has to decide, how do we engage this? How do we go against them? And for now, XL2, they've made a great opening.
Yeah, they're already onto the point 2 bodies there. Finally, EnVision come down to contest, but Flowers in the back has to recall away. But it's right to the face of a D.Va, so he blinks back once more. But the orb is there. They're going to be able to melt McGravy out of his mech. Both Midnight and McGravy are out now.
D.Va's down, but the Hanzo still out to play. iShiny almost getting picked off, just barely got the shield down in time. Gets out of there, gets healed. Meanwhile, Mangachu still applying pressure on the Hanzo. Scatter arrow and down. Jaru from the flip side deals with the Hanzo problem. Brother, I have returned. And this is looking quite good for EnVision as they start throwing XL2 out.
Yeah, Flower has to find an exit, but it's going to be Crimzo just throwing him out there. And things look good. XL2, they made their approach. They were able to have all the space for Mangachu, but of course, with how defensive that McGravy plays with that D.Va, he's able to eat up a lot of those arrows. That's why Mangachu, he's only sitting at 74%.
But as far as that goes, while he hasn't had the most arrows landed, he will have a Dragon Strike likely up for this in a moment. And that's not usually the ultimate you expect for huge plays. It can dictate zoning in such a way that you set up Flower or something in the moment. And XL2, at some point you gotta go for the point here. They're sort of like footsie, and then EnVision's going, okay, but now they're gonna engage on the point. XL2 gonna hold back a little bit. Mangachu with the Dragon Strike, but they lost Adam. The flank from deep in EnVision. Gonna put XL2 in a rough spot.
But the Primal Rage was forced out of Shiny, and they've already lost 2 members on the side of EnVision, so XL2, they're going to go ahead and press the go button here. Primal Rage has ended because Flower will end it early on. Those headshots landing, and reigning supreme now. Flower is forced back as the Bionic Nade comes out, but the damage has been done. XL2 already secured 1 tick, and they're continuing to gain more.
XL2 finally getting progress on the point, but this was not a first point attack with urgency. They really waited a long time here, and it doesn't set them up well for point B. They only have 5.5 minutes, and EnVision has a pretty decent war chest to deal with it.
EnVision, once again, Jaru with the blade, Buds with the pulse bomb. Now, Shiny, he did use that Primal Rage in the last fight, but it's okay. It's just the Winston Primal Rage. It's gonna be plenty of time, plenty of ways for EnVision to buy time for Shiny.
XL2, for now, trying to box out the high ground. Mangachu not quite able to do as much. Meanwhile, Jaru in the back, a little bit deflection. 1 slice, 2, down goes Goliath, makes it 2-4, and both, of course, being supports. Enough done for Jaru to derail XL2 on that push.
I'm surprised that XL2 committed the ultimates that they did. Clone Man using...
No. Wait. Oh, no.
Midnight
they had the full block. Midnight.
This is brutal.
Oh,
this
no.
is...
Finally he falls, but oh my word.
Yeah, he had built up just enough to get back into his mech there, so they knew they had to take him out, lest they be caught unawares. Now, XL2, Mangachu has swapped off. He's going over to Soldier 76, and this is interesting now. XL2, they're going in from the left-hand side. They're trying to feint that they're going to be pushing from there, so they want them to drop down, but they know Mangachu is up here now.
Mangachu's back up. It's going to be wild to the attack visor. Still, a 76 up here can be deadly if you give him room, and looks like he's going to get that room right now. They're going to isolate out iShiny. He's out of the fight. Both Winstons are gone, but Clone might be risible here as Mangachu gets a very good position on top, but self-destruct. That's one way to make room. Just leisurely lays it down there, puts Mangachu in a bad position. Jaro cleans him up, and XL2 now not really able to make this work. Gonna drop the self-destruct the zone, and doesn't quite get what they're looking for. This is actually being well played by EnVision. They're not out of the hot water yet. Mangachu was rezzed, and iShiny just barely got the primal range off in time.
Will stay alive as Flower falls. XL2 just have to cut the cord now and just run away. Now they're down to 3.5 minutes. EnVision, they're doing such a good job of kiting and cycling in their tanks. We saw McGravy, he took a lot of damage. He was contesting the point, but he was able to get out. Fire heals him, tops him off, gets the nano boost to throw iShiny back into the mix. And because, of course, you have that damage mitigation, he just stays alive for so long, especially compounded upon that he has the primal rage too. And so he's not allowing Mangachu to have the space that he needs with the Soldier 76.
And he would like to get that space, right? Where you want to have full room as a 76 to lock down Hanamura, but there's a lot of ways that can go wrong right now, not the least of which, of course, Bud's, Jaro with the blade of his own, Flower looking for Zen on the ground floor. Meanwhile, Jaro pulls out the blade, Mangachu already out of the fight, an easy swipe, a pulse bomb coming in, and EnVision holding once more.
That was also the tactical visor they were building up for the last 2 minutes. That just goes straight down the hole, so now Mangachu's got to build it up once again. Luckily for him, at least, in the next fight, they do have some finishing power. Flower, once again, has that pulse bomb, but they've got the self-destruct along with that primal rage. So what I really want to see here is that Midnight goes for the self-destruct, but then Clone Man jumps into the back line with the primal rage to boot people out back into line of sight of it. We'll see if they try to go for that play. I don't think they will, though. It takes a lot of coordination to do that.
It takes coordination, but Clone Man has been on the idea of having good primal rages here so far. Dive already in, Goliath down, oh my word. Blanking a miss, iShiny and Bud just ruining everything. Reset in progress. So that is a quick over and done.
And Jaro, he's basically just taking up a lease in the back line of XL2's.
He's not paying rent.
Yeah, he's not though. he signed the lease. He still hasn't paid rent. He's about 3 months in arrears.
Yeah, well, he's a bad tenant, and they've not really been able to evict him, as it were. But what we see is XL2 coming in once more. They're going to apply pressure on that point, already getting a little bit on. They're going to follow through with the Valkyrie, and just playing it slow right now. Jaro almost chunked down. Is he going to get out? He does get healed in the moment. Jaro still not out of this fight. Could have been huge turnaround for XL2. Midnight going back in. Self-destruct at the ready. They lose Goliath early, and iShine at the primal rage. Just enough. Once more, it's going to be XL2 back to the drawing board.
Yeah, XL2, even though they're going in for these fights, I don't know why. Clone Man goes down, he uses his primal rage. He's not been able to get the support because Midnight has to stay in the back. Mangachu is getting so much focus now. Jaro is there continually. Shiny is right on top of him all the time. And now we're down to the last 55 seconds for XL2. And Mangachu, he's 30% away from having another tactical visor, but EnVision have been doing such a good job of making sure he can't get one off.
Well, the other thing, too, is that Soldier is not Mangachu's best hero. I don't rate his hit scan super highly. They're forced into a double hit scan comp here because Tracer Soldier is pretty good. I don't think it's worked out for them. They will get one final opportunity. Meanwhile, Bud's, oh no, good. Bye! Can't res it when you're the Mercy yourself. Well worth death for Buds.
And now XL2. It's 20 seconds. They're going to have to rush onto the point. Luckily, Adam has that Guardian Angel to be able to get back quicker, so they're not that pressed for time, but they are pressed for ultimates.
What they need here is they need Jaro to dive in and just suicide himself into a Transcendence. It's their best winning condition. If Jaro can avoid that and have self-control, it's going to be very difficult for XL2, but let's see what Jaro does. Holding on to the blade. Well, you got to touch the point first.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
Well, it was the presence of Shiny again. I mean, if you saw towards the end there, he was jumping down from the high ground. So, I mean, he was already up there just disrupting everyone, but that was some mistiming.
Still, though, you touched the point.
Was there anything that XL2 could have done to have given Mangachu a little bit more support on that 76 to have helped him make that room?
I think you just kind of give up on the 76 and maybe go for a Junkrat instead.
Yes.
Like, he's already more comfortable on it, of course, and Junkrat, when you're getting dove upon by a Genji or a Winston, it's a much easier to deal with. I mean, as a 76, all you can really do is when a Winston jumps in your face is throw down your biotic field and you guys just stare at each other through a barrier.
What I will reiterate here is, like, look, I have watched a lot of Mangachu play over the last 2 years, and he is one of my favorite projectile players to watch, especially on heroes like Pharah. He's excellent at it. His hit scan play has been a different story entirely, and I can't tell you, man, his projectile play is really good without going, his hit scan play, not so good. And when you're stuck on Hanamura and you go, okay, we're going to run double hit scan, it's just not playing to the strengths of your players at the moment. I don't care if it's meta. It was the wrong decision for this map.
Yeah, and there was just too strong, I think, of flanking play happening for them to really feel comfortable even leaving him by himself at all. Here we have Buds coming up on the right and just really landing a stick on Mercy, taking out Mercy in like the very beginning of the fight. There goes one of your supports, and you've got no one to pocket from them from that point on.
Yeah, I mean, the entire defense, Buds, Shiny, and Jaru just set up camp. They just set up camp and just stayed there the entire time, and they couldn't do anything about it for XL2. They just consistently got taken out every single time.
Look at this. You even have a nano-boosted Winston for good measure. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to cleave 3 people. I'm a gorilla and a scientist. My life is fantastic.
You guys had made, I can't remember who it was, but somebody had made the comment about as soon as Hanzo showed up, EnVision kind of backed off to gauge. Why is Hanzo such a threat to cause an entire team to be like, we've been super aggressive, but let me just hang out for a second?
Scatter arrow.
Yeah, simple geometry, essentially. You have to respect sniper characters. Even if Hanzo is not the most meta of heroes, it's something where you pull it out and it's going to give a team pause. It's sort of like, do we really want to dive in right now? It's sort of like, no, you want to go in with ways with good sight lines. So anytime, whether it be a Hanzo or a Widow, you can always sort of see the effect of this invisible wall of pressure. And it did create space, but it still didn't lead to a quick attack.
Yeah, you do have to worry about that scatter arrow, especially when you know that Mercy's still being played in this meta. Scatter arrow can already take out a tank by itself, but if you put that damage boost on, it's almost guaranteed. So you do have to respect it, and especially because Mangachu does play that Hanzo quite often, so he knows what he's doing with that hero.
Alrighty, well, let us check out our 4th map. It could be our final map, depending on how XL2 plays this. We will be going to Dorado. And this kind of back and forth with the servers, this is what could force a map 5 between these two teams.
I am actually confused now. It said Dorado on the screen.
And I hear,
but I hear a didgeridoo.
Yeah, I hear Junkertown.
I don't know what. Look behind us, it's Dorado. It is
Dorado.
Yes.
Okay.
Gem. Okay, so
we just felt like listening to didgeridoos. Why are you judging us right now?
I'm not judging. That is a fantastic music.
Didgeridoo your thing. You know what I mean?
I think the next soundtrack to Star Wars should be done by John Williams on a didgeridoo. I think that'd be phenomenal.
He'd make it work, yeah. He'd make it work.
Well, all right. Going back to the game, when we're getting into game right now. Talk about what you can expect to see out of these. Let's see, are they bringing Nene back in? Yep, Nene's back in on the Widowmaker. So let's talk a little bit about what we can expect on this map now that we have Nene on Widow.
Yeah, it's the Pharah Widow. I mean, we see it on screen, but this is exactly what we're expecting coming out from XL2. This is their bread and butter. This is their comfort. We've seen them do this time and again on Dorado. This is just their look.
Also, I mean, part of it is that they actually have a true... I mean, granted, Flower's Widow is very good, but Nene is your all-purpose hit scan option, and you're not in the situation on Hanamura where you're running 2 players on hit scan where they'd both rather be playing different things. So this is much more of a comfort zone for XL2. See if they're able to crack things open.
On the defense for EnVision, though, they're trying to run, of course, the Orisa. That's an odd pick here. It does leave yourself very immobile, but that does mean Buds can have that kind of advantage up against Nene, making it much more difficult for Nene to find the pick. It's Buds that starts it off. Headshot onto Mangachu.
That's one thing that you don't want to happen as a Pharah, but isn't always in your control. You show your head, you get knocked on down. Mangachu gets a second lease on life. No, he doesn't. I hope there's no life insurance policy because he's immediately back in the ground.
Luckily, EnVision's already playing all the way back in the courtyard, so the payload is just making free progress. Mangachu's just going to respawn and put himself in the way of Buds once again. And this is what I'm talking about. Buds can just stand behind the Orisa shield.
Buds is well protected, and I don't know what you do. I mean, there's ways you can play around it, but you definitely don't want to play a Pharah against Widow that's doing as well as Buds is here. So if Mangachu gets popped in the head once more after a ridiculous angle, then you got to swap to something that's strategically better against Widow. But Mangachu is being a little bit more respectful, playing a very hard-to-hit sight line, and coming in from an angle that gives him more room as XL2 starts pushing into the courtyard.
Buds has made his way up to the high ground. Is forced back though as Mangachu is right on top of him. Buds is getting pocketed, so he will survive for now. Infrasight is used, but will he be able to connect on the shot? He takes the air. He does not connect, but Nene does on the opposite end. Crimzo and Shiny gone there. Crimzo is brought back into this, but it's all XL2 Academy cleaning up EnVision.
XL2 able to get their way through. Mangachu is a little bit of a distraction in the end, but it works out. They pierce through the courtyard. They deal with the threat of Buds, and XL2 actually making very good time right now through Dorado.
As we move on to second, Buds, he's going to be sticking with the Widowmaker, it looks like. Because, well, you know, the sidelines, it's not as easy for Mangachu to exploit here. He does have to expose himself just a bit more, simply because of the geography of the map. But McGravy, he's got to be careful. He might get D-Mec'd over the top. It's going to be the barrage. It doesn't connect, but he did do some damage.
Well, he used the barrage, but oftentimes it's a press Q to respawn, and it was here. Nene looking for the Widow on the other side. As EnVision, off the defensive momentum, he's going to start bringing this back the other way. And now, Buds gets a chance to have a little bit of a breather.
Mangachu has swapped off. He used the barrage and he just goes ahead and swaps off onto the Junkrat. He's going to be able to get some more reliable damage. I know that's weird saying that, right? Because Junkrat spams, but he's good with those rockets. He's good with those grenades. He can connect with those, and he can also contest the high ground if he wants to. Again, it's XL2 making free progress.
He's not going to be landing too much from the angle he's in right now. It is a little bit awkward. I think EnVision has a huge edge here. And Buds gone! Not able to grapple his way out of that one. And Jamerson has to watch his step. Well, even though you get the early knockoff there, EnVision not quite able to reset. And XL2 doing quite well as they approach the dreaded Dorado turn.
Oh, Primal Rage is forced out as Shiny just had nowhere to go. He was backed up into quarter.
Oh!
Nene with the grapple shot takes out Buds. He's going to get some free damage on, forcing out the Transcendence to keep the tank alive from Crimzo. That's going to allow Jaro to come in, get that frag onto Midnight, but still XL2 are answering back. There's not enough firepower on the ground for EnVision. Finally, Buds answer back, and it's going to be XL2 to secure second as we move on to third.
Just not in time there, and XL2 still going to be working their way forward. And oh goodness, they keep staggering EnVision.
EnVision, they need to slow this down. They can't be caught up by the pace that XL2 continually push them with.
No, they can't, and now XL2 is set for a really good team fight here where Tire can do work in the moment. Cloman just licking his chops, and here comes the Tire. Ooh, Mangachu suddenly in a little bit tougher spot there. Does get covered for those. Nene gets Buds. It still works out. Tire kill or no. 2 quick kills for XL2, and the pressure is on once more.
They do res Buds back into this, but Nene, he's just lurking. He's waiting to go onto that high ground now. The payload just inches away. EnVision trying to go for a full 6-man regroup. They got to get out to the point. Now they do have the D.Va here to boost on it. It's McGravy. He's already getting chunked down, though.
McGravy sacrificing his mech. Jaru out of the fight, but Mangachu is gone as well. Not having to worry about another Tire. Adam still in the skies, keeping things healed as Valkyrie. Midnight, a little bit of fireworks. Not in a great position to actually hit people there. More of a zoning. But zoning is okay. XL2 putting on the pressure, but it's trading out in such a way that EnVision is going to take the advantage here in a moment. XL2 has to run really far back. They're still investing Transcendence in, but look at the power that EnVision has coming back on some point. It's not going to be enough for XL2.
I think there might have been a little bit of an error coming out there. I don't quite remember seeing a Orb of Discord coming out. Now remember, those orbs persist when you go into the Transcendence, so you have to send those out. You cannot use the animation. You cannot send out new orbs once you are in Transcendence. So it was difficult. XL2, they needed to focus someone down, but they didn't have that kind of same call coming out if of course the Zen wasn't in that trance state.
And the issue too for XL2, I mean, they're running into a monster ult economy problem here. They're really behind. They're gonna have to use 1 or 2 pushes that are more or less junk pushes here, just hoping to things that go the other way. And oh, Bud striking deep, both supports out of it. EnVision, though, does utilize quite a bit. Jaro used the blade through there where he probably didn't need to, and this is actually really good for XL2 as they come in the next fight.
Yeah, I mean, you started this all off saying they have to fight up against all these ultimates. Not anymore. Now it's just the tank ultimates online for EnVision here, while XL2, you know, they've got Mangachu. He's got that Riptire once again. And so, I want to see him go after someone like Crimzo, someone like Fire.
Well, it's an early tire. It's already lost a quarter of its HP. Now down the half. It's getting at the Virgin. Oh, it's taken down. Mangachu should have just grabbed what he could have gotten there. The tire getting very little, and EnVision counter diving the other way. Buds, though, watch your step. Taken down early. 2 quick kills for XL2. They lost Adam. That's pretty rough, and yet they can still make progress here.
Losing the Mercy, though, can really slow them down. Now we do have a self-destruct coming out. Jaru in the back takes out Mangachu. Now, just on the high ground as the rest of his team is coming in. Buds has to be careful. He's getting hunted down, but he does have the recall. He will be able to get out. EnVision stabilize, forcing XL2 back.
All right, we have a swap here. Mangachu now going over to the Genji. Can he get a blade in time here? Maybe. It's on the verge. It'd be a near overtime blade.
But Jaru definitely will. He's sitting at 94% now. There it is. He's got the blade. He built these up so quickly. Take a look at all the damage coming across onto Midnight.
And he doesn't want to use it immediately. Oh, goodbye. Crimzo out. Now Jaru's going to be way more focused than use. Oh, he's down! Jaru gets taken down by Midnight. Can't blade when it's needed most. XL2 on the fast break. They use the res on the Crimzo, who right now, in the moment, is going to get back on some point the Transcendence, give a little bit of breathing room, but XL2, they are suffocating right now. They are going in at Vision directly for the throat. Here comes Jaru. He's going to come out the Desperation Dragon Blade. Adam's down, looking for more, pushed right on out. Nowhere to go for Jaru, and XL2 on the verge of pushing this one in.
Another self-destruct coming out from McGravy. Now he'll be able to get back into his mech. No, he won't. Mangachu is there to cut him down. 6% away from that blade. Now he's got it. He's going to pull it out, and there we go. He takes out Buds, and it's just Jaru left. He's not able to make it out to the point. XL2, with 20 seconds left on the clock, will complete out Dorado.
And let us be very clear here, that is a great situation to be in Dorado, where it's not just that you have time remaining, you finished the map! You got through point B! Pat yourself on the back, and of course, if XL2 is able to back this up with a very good defense, that means we would be going to a tie-breaking map number 5 to decide who goes deeper to that live semifinal.
But credit given where credit is due, EnVision, it kind of got steamrolled through first and second, really did stabilize there in third, and that is what we do see here on Dorado, but it was off the back of some clutch plays coming out from players like Jaru. He was able to focus down, I believe, Adam a number of times. Buds, he wasn't having the best time on the Tracer, but he also had the moments there on third.
Buds has been solid here today. I would say, like any game with Buds, you're sort of going, is he going to be effective? What Buds are you going to get? And recently for EnVision, you've been getting a pretty high quality version of Buds. So it is interesting to watch his development over time, whether you go all the way back to the ye old E-League days, or of course here in 2018 for Contenders. Buds has always been a player on the fringe, and so far, he's been doing well for EnVision.
Yeah, his play on Nepal was fantastic. The Widowmaker really opened things up for them there. His Tracer play throughout the rest of the series so far has been absolutely stellar now. XL2, though, here on the defense, and this is what we were expecting to see out of that. Mangachu is going to be on that defensive far Mercy combination. Nene, of course, picking up that Widowmaker here in the background. They're going to go ahead and damage boost him early on to try and get that first pick up against possibly Buds or Shiny. We'll see if it works out for them.
You know that image where you have Fry from Futurama just doing the squinting? You know, not sure if serious? Defensive Pharah versus Buds on Widow here is really risky. It could work out, but I don't know if I'd challenge this after what happened early last time, as Bud's already looking for that opportunity.
Now, he did use that grapple. He's got another second for the cooldown, and he's already spotting out the sight line. There we go. He spotted out Mangachu, but he's got to be careful. Ooh, Adam's got to be careful.
I like the target reprioritization there. That was smart by Buds, realizing that he'd have a better chance than Mercy, who went to cover that. Now, they're going to be rotating back around the other side. Buds still looking for that pickoff, seeing what the best situation is going to be. He's going to go to the high ground.
Now Jaru, off on the right-hand side by the stairs. Try to sneak his way into the back. He is there. He does notice out Goliath, but he doesn't want to take that 1v1.
Jaro being the distraction. While you're distracting, that gives Buds more room to work with. EnVision, though, highly poked down here. They can't really assault the payload dead on. They're gonna lose. Crimzo is a little bit far out. And EnVision doesn't really have the tools to dive in on the payload here, which again means that XL2 gets time here in the courtyard phase.
Yeah, but that was a great jump coming out from Shiny and McGravy to take Adam out of the sky. And so, without that Mercy there, that's a lot of healing potential gone. Luckily, they do have the Moira and Goliath here to keep them all topped off.
Jaro looking a little bit deeper. Buds gets Nene. Early pickoff in progress. Jaro gonna go deeper, and he got Adam! Adam was looking for the res and got picked off midstream. Buds now in a really good position, gets Goliath, the lifeline is gone, and this is where Buds shines. You finally get rid of the people pressuring you, and you let the Widowmaker roll. Momentum on EnVision's side.
I was worried for Adam there again. Now remember, this is Mercy, by the way, and he's only at 60% towards the Valkyrie. EnVision, Fire, he's already used his, and now they're on the hunt for this Fire of Mercy. They will be able to back away.
Well, you're talking about charging Adam. He just headshot Clone Man. He just got to keep all that up. So Adam got a donation, as it were, to get closer to that Valkyrie.
But, ooh, all right. It is in a resable position, so Fire will be able to get Buds back into this, but that means Make a Choose right now is firing free onto them. Jaro gets to the back, takes out Nene.
Jaro's like, Buds, I got your salty revenge. You didn't have to worry about yourself. But now you don't have a Widow on the other side. Well, actually, now you do. Adam cleanly gets the res. Jaro wasn't able to camp the body. So it's back to 6-on-6. Both Widows looking for each other. Nene in the middle of recon site right now. So everyone in EnVision has to be careful about diving past the corner, yet something bad could happen. The recon site is over. Mangchu off the barrage, picks off 2, aided by the recon site, makes it a 3-fer, and XL2 gets some desperately needed stabilization. 3 minutes and 45 seconds left to go.
Will he get any more staggered eliminations? No, he's gonna go ahead and back off, just get some free pokes now. Yeah, finally we do see a team stabilizing here on second. It's XL2. Well, EnVision, I mean, they got kind of rolled through here. It's XL2 able to hold it down. Nene, now at 65% towards his next infra site here. XL2 a little bit of a power trough as EnVision are pushing forward. They're about to have 4 or 5 ultimates online.
4 or 5 ultimates, and then the other thing, you have Buds on the Widow where he has the easy position to just apply pressure before you use ultimate. It means that if he gets a pick off, you don't have to use anything per se. Nene, though, protected by Midnight, doesn't give Buds the early attack there. Although Buds doesn't care. Got, oh my word, that was a difficult shot. Got Adam mid-Guardian Angel, and that's exactly what they needed, where all they've invested here is the Primal Rage.
They're gonna reset quick though. Nene picking up a consolation kill onto Crimzo. This is gonna allow XL2 Academy one more opportunity to come and contest here. The resurrections to bring Crimzo back into this. It's gonna be full force 6v6. EnVision still have a lot of time to work with. 2 minutes and 35 seconds, and it's Nene this time popping that infra site for his team. They know where they can exit safely.
All right, Buds still on the Widow, still with plenty of room to work with. You see Clone Man challenging Shiny. He has to back out. The orb not anywhere near enough. He got just poked down too much. Junkrat pressure coming in from Mangachu here on the defensive end. Nene still on the Widow. Buds looking for pickoffs, and McGravy already out of this here. Is he resable? Not entirely clear. Buds down to Nene. Got taken down while poking, and then, hey, a one-man army pulling XL2 back into it.
He's got that Mercy pocket into so much damage, one-shot potential. That's why he was able to take out Buds on the opposite end, even though it wasn't a headshot. And so, EnVision are forced back once again. XL2 restabilizing here on the defense, just short of second. This is where teams get gummed up, and this is why we don't expect many of them to make it to third. This point right here.
Exactly. And, oh, Buds got Nene. That's big. Now just make sure Adam doesn't go res. Adam got the res, was able to cover it. Nene gets off, and he almost got Goliath in the middle of that. However, Crimzo and Nice Shiny went so deep that EnVision doesn't have the ability to keep on in that. They tried to secure the kill, but the follow through was there, and Mangachu is like, I've made a mistake. I leave now.
Oh man, that was terrifying. But take a look, Bud's now swapping off his angle. He hasn't really played down here by the Portero statue. And he's getting some free damage off now, but Midnight with the defense matrix, he's been spot on with this D.Va all night. Mitigating so much damage with it, as the high ground is being contested by EnVision now.
Nene once more opened up to look for opportunities. Not scared of Buds in the least. EnVision clumped up here on the courthouse, and Clone Man a little bit deep. I don't think that one was super resible, but you got to keep an eye out. Adam's going to go for it. Oh my God, did Adam get away with it? He did. They weren't able to finish their plate there. Clone Man's back in the fight. The tire gets fire, and Mangachu does enough on the other end. 30 seconds left for EnVision, and it's not looking good.
Halo has pushed back so far too. Is now back over at this choke point here. So XL2, if they want to, they can hold right above it and continue to contest now. EnVision is coming down to the last 15 seconds here. It's going to be Jaro with the blade. He needs to come up huge with it. Fire is also going to have that Valkyrie, so he can go in there with him. He can just go ahead and damage boost this blade, but he needs to get healed first. No, he won't. He gets taken out. Nene!
Well, he got such a payload now. We're in overtime. EnVision will manage at least that. Buds, this is the time to pop off and have your moment of destiny. You have the recon sight up. You see everything. You know where Adam and Nene are. Every kill going the way of EnVision here. They still have a shot. Winston in the back, but not getting anything done. Oh, Buds not quite in position to scope and get Adam, but gets him this time. Finished off Nene for good fashion. A double kill for Buds. A minute 20 left on the clock. EnVision still alive.
And Jaru has held on to the blade this entire time. Now, we'll see where XL2 decided to take this first fight. If they wait too long, it's going to be very difficult to come in for a full 6-man retake if they lose the fight. So they need to take this engagement now. But Buds is already on the high ground, but he's focused down. He took one shot and Midnight jumped on him instantly.
Swap now. Get off Widow. Meanwhile, Jaro pulls out the blade. EnVision trying to invest in this. Hey, they got two. They actually might pull it back to a degree. And by the way, Buds heard me. He's down the Tracer. This is a good swap. Mangachu, Eden, or not Eden in practice. You don't eat it with defensive agents, but you can just kill it. And McGravy deals with the tire in the right moment. And EnVision now some momentum.
XL2 did take the fight at the right time, so they've got full 6-man push coming out from them, but they don't have much else behind it. They do have Adam, who's got that Valkyrie. They're going to have to pop it early here. It's 24 seconds left for EnVision to finish this out.
EnVision quite close here. Buds now on the Tracer, no longer on Widow, looking for the opportunity. Jaru, though, unable to get away. Clone Man finishing his plate. And though he's fallen, the damage done incalculable as EnVision trying to come back in. They did get a res off, but here's Nene. Bomb up. So many clumped up targets. Dives in deep. Pulse bomb in. No, does not get what he's looking for. EnVision fighting for their very lives. Goliath is out of it, and they have decent position at the point where they lose Buds in the middle. XL2, Clone Man knocking people away, and this XL2 gonna force them at 5. They're awfully close.
It's a clutch resurrection onto Goliath, though he comes back with that Transcendence now. Self-destruct gets used. It's Mangachu with the tire, comes in, takes out Shiny, and now there's just 3 members left. Power has another blade. He's in.
Blade is in. He got hacked.
No,
doesn't matter.
He still gets Mangachu.
Got him in the moment. EnVision not out of it just yet. XL2 pushed on back. Here comes Jaru working out. Overtime still in progress. Buds back into the fight. Got 2. Pulse bomb stick. He's hacked, but does he care right now? Jaru's finishing what he started, and EnVision just needs a little bit more. It's Doomfist. It is a Doomfist that is immediately removed, and we're not done here yet. Let's go to some extra rounds.
Jaru, just when they needed him, comes in clutch once again. Luckily for them, they were already corralled right outside of spawn, and there isn't much breathing room for you there. He's able to just simply walk them down, cut through them, and that was clutch.
Wow, that is not something that's usually fought back, and I'm trying to remember, have we even seen Dorado go to extra rounds? At this point, like, this is not normal. Usually we stop back at point B, let alone over here.
I'm racking my brain, but I can't remember
Nor
if
can
we
I.
did. I don't think we have. I don't think we have at all. But now we do. We have it here. It's the same looks coming out from XL2. They're going to go with that Pharah, Mercy, along with the Widowmaker and Clone Man on the Orisa. Goliath picking up the Moira. So same exact defense, I believe, that they ran the first time around.
This is bold from Mangachu, where Buds has been challenging him on the Widowmaker every single time. He says, you know what? I don't care. But Mangachu's still going to have to play this really defensively because Buds has had just surprisingly lightning strong ability to take him out of the sky. And Shiny, I'm sorry, you can't stay there. You got to. The bushes have priority.
He's going to go ahead and swap off. It is just dive coming out for them. Fire, he is going to go ahead and use that Sonic Arrow just to get any information out, any kind of wonkiness. Never mind, he goes immediately over to the Mercy instead. But once again, with that Widowmaker, going to go ahead and take that same approach. He takes the high ground here, spots someone out. No, he's going to check this angle to make sure that the Pharah isn't lying in wait.
That's really smart by Mangachu. Look at that positioning. He knows that Buds doesn't have a great shot from there, and look at how it's going to force Buds to go even more aggressive. Now, Buds isn't going to be deterred here. He's still going to move in, but the protection from D.Va. Oh, no. He's going for it. Oh, this is so scary, and he lives to tell the story.
Now the payload has made its way through that choke point here, but it is going to be contested very shortly. Now Buds on the left-hand side connects with 2 shots, takes Mangachu out of the air. They might be able to res it. Adam will.
Well, he gets res back up, but Buds is in a much better position now. Gets Goliath, an easy pick onto the Moira. Here comes EnVision, and we're gonna be in overtime soon, but this payload might have no brakes as Buds gets Midnight on the mech, just for good measure. We're not done yet.
So, surprisingly, they are going to go ahead and take first. And we don't really get to see that often on these second round pushes coming out. So EnVision, they have set themselves up in a great way here. They're already in overtime now as Buds is forced to back away, but he's got the Infra Sight soon.
Buds getting very good value out of this Widow here so far. Mangachu still, oh no. Oh no, you gotta back away. He sees you, he gets you. Oh my word, Mangachu challenged it and that could not have been worse. Yes, he's gonna get brought back up, but Buds, okay, is he gonna commit hard to the flank? They kind of know he's there. Either way, Jaru moving a little bit forward. Still in overtime, every bit of progress vital.
And they are getting so much mileage off of this Widowmaker. Mangachu gets taken out once again. Bud's focused down, but the Transcendence is there and it keeps him alive. And he's able to just machine gun through them now. He's got all the sight lines of the world as Jaro picks up Goliath. Buds once again, Adam in his sights takes him right on out. And EnVision are going to continue this push.
That was a crazy save by Crimson. Buds, it would have been a worthy sacrifice. Like, okay, Buds is done. No, he lives to tell the story once more. Fire brings him back up. This is a nightmare for XL2 as EnVision can close this out.
This is the trouble you're running into. Running defense first. You don't know when enough is enough. Now they just have to throw everything at them. They have to stop them here. Pulse Bomb comes out. It sticks. Jaro takes out Clone Man.
Clone Man's out of there to begin with. Mangachu just taken out of the sky. Buds in the gravy connecting on that. Clone Man brought back up, but look at the momentum EnVision has on the payload, the dominance here. Goliath lucky to not be dead from this Widow pressure here once more. We're in recon mode, but look at that. Clone Man and Nene did enough on the point. EnVision now starting to bleed. Have to bring this back with just 4 members. Buds has done much in the last moment. Looking for Goliath, still unable to get him. The Moira too elusive in the moment. Buds is gonna fall. iShiny going to get taken down as well. Nene doing some cleanup, and the payload stops right here. But this is extra rounds. That was a huge push coming in from EnVision.
And this is why I prefer actually attacking first when you have like this small of a time bank discrepancy. It was a minute versus a minute 20. And now all of the pressure are on XL2. They have to play immaculately. It takes a minute just to get to that first first checkpoint. And then from there, you are in overtime. If you lose one fight at all, it's almost over. And so now XL2, this is the real pressure situation. EnVision are sitting on match point. They're just one good team fight away from walking away, from flying over to our live finals.
Look, Buds is on fire right now. Stop touching the stove! Get off the Pharah in this situation! How many times does he have to put you on the ground? I get it's normally good in this situation, but you're dealing with the Widowmaker that really doesn't care. Consider your friendly Robo Ninja.
No, Buds is definitely just dialed in. He has had Adam's number. He has had Mangachu's number. There were so many clutch sniper shots coming out from that Widowmaker. But they're going to go ahead and run that Fire Mercy once again. What happened last time XL2 ran that Fire Mercy on the offense?
Mangachu got killed twice at the very beginning. It's like, he's down, he's up, he's down. And it's not even his fault. It's Buds playing out of his mind.
Despite that, though, they're going to go for it again. Nene takes a very safe peek with that Widowmaker, but Mangachu doesn't care. He's going straight over the roofs right now.
All right, Mangachu coming back in. Okay, risky, real risky, given what we just saw. You're exposing your head, that could be bad. But for now, he lives, still using rooftop for cover.
Already down to 50 seconds, XL2. Starting it all off. That's a huge pickoff onto Buds. And oh, we saw he tried to cover it, but there we go. Nene once again takes him out.
Nene able to give Mangachu the cover he needs, and now Mangachu has room to work here, right? You've got, well, you know, it might not need to have work. His work is being taken by smug French women immigrating to the United States right now as Nene continues to pile on the pressure. Mangachu's gonna work towards the end, but this is quite good right now for XL2, who's going to easily get through Courtyard. We have one good overtime push, might deserve another.
But this is where you're worrying. By the time this gate opens, you're basically in overtime. So XL2, they have to play immaculately. Buds has since swapped off, never mind, goes back over to the Widowmaker. He's gonna have much better sight lines, but Nene is definitely feeling it now.
Well, Nene is also got the recon side in the beginning, but we're in overtime. One fight for EnVision sends them to that LAN finals. Just one fight is all they need, but who's gonna be in the way? Nene knows where Buds is. Recon side up. Now, Buds should know that he is priority number one. Widow be eradicates Eye Shiny, your friendly Winston eradication service. And this is looking pretty good for XL2. They get the better part of those trades, and this payload still is moving.
Yep, they have to back out now. Remember, this is overtime. This is overtime respawn timers. It takes so long to regroup here. So XL2 will get a lot more mileage now here on the payload. Mangachu, you gotta be careful.
Oh my word. Widows and Pharahs, oh my. Buds going around the outside. Would like to deal with Nene, who's been his priority number one. And yet he sees Mangachu on the right side. Who do you go for? Under pressure from both ends means he's not doing anything to either right now. XL2 coming on in. Crimson Eye Shiny down. Is XL2 gonna pull the comeback? They're well on their way. Jaru has attack visor in the back just to stay even. Bud's got Mangachu. We're still in overtime. It could go either way. And EnVision, they might see the path. They have everything they need. Adam unable to get the res. And stay on the payload. Stay on the payload.
What?
Oh no! XL2 forcing a map 5 with EnVision and almost brought that back.
Midnight just goes behind the payload to try and get a safe remake, and then everyone leaves. And they're like, oh, okay, oh wow.
The emotions coming from these guys, like, you guys can't feel it. It's palpable right now.
What's the third letter of the alphabet?
Oh, it's C.
What's 10 minus 1?
Oh, you know what? I'm bad at math, but you know, I'll let the viewers figure that out for themselves. But
that was LAN finals. If he had just gotten both the takes off, oh my gosh.
You know what? But this is why people tune in. They tune in to see the map 5 between two equally matched teams, two equally matched DPS, two equally matched tank lines. This has been an incredible matchup so far. We've seen Buds being saved at all costs, with Crimzo and Fire literally defining pocket right then and there. We also see Nene not really having much to say about anything, going in, Mangachu unafraid of anything, and they're all playing exactly the way they need to play.
Oh, just bring me the Oasis and mess me up, fam. I don't know. Yeah. I'm done on the analytical now. Just really good storylines on both sides. Let's just see how this finishes out. One of these teams is going to Contenders finals. The other is staying home.
The heartbreaking part about all of this is that Nene is just really on point with everything, and it's like, God, he's probably gonna get voted. He's gonna get voted off the island, and then we don't get to see him on freaking LAN.
You are correct here, though, and you bring up a good point. Is that I do believe we'd be swapping servers here.
If they're smart, they would swap servers.
So that means in the very end, it would be Flower and Mangachu as opposed to Nene and Mangachu or Nene and Flower. So as good as Nene was there and fighting the good fight against Buds, where both honestly were tremendous, it will end in that final era.
Do you think that there would be any advantage? Because the thing is it's an either-or thing, right? Like, EnVision gets to pick either the server or the map. And is there any hope that they could pick map over server?
Well, I think right now, Even though Flower is a great player, so far it hasn't been a great look for XL2. Even though he has some clutch plays, it's not optimized Overwatch for them because they're putting him on the hit scan where we had mentioned before he's not the most comfortable. And so having Flower back into the rotation instead of Nene does make a huge difference so far, especially because of the Widowmaker play that we just saw out of him.
Yeah, I think really you'd want to stick with any situation where you could play Nene, but I feel like from the opposing end, you've had enough of Nene.
Yeah.
You don't want to see him anymore. You know, take your death by flowers.
Alrighty, so we have also seen coming out of EnVision, Jaru just answering the call.
Jaru's
time and time again.
There's really nothing else to say other than Jaru has been great. Overall, he's gotten more consistent over time. I can't think of a time where I look at EnVision and go, yeah, Jaru's the problem, except for the points where they just run in Sombra all the time, but that's not even really Jaru. That's on sort of the overall team decision-making there, so.
Hey, ZP, I have to tell you something. We're going to Oasis.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. It's happening. It's happening, but it can be good. It can be good.
Well, you can have a good Pharah game here, that's for sure. And Oasis is not really that conducive to Widow in many situations. So if Mangachu wanted to have the pick of things here, if he wanted to flex on his best hero and not worry about getting plunked in the head approximately 8 billion times, this is the point.
What I worry about a little there is that they do like to play Sombra, do EnVision when they're here on Oasis, and that has not been their best look. Jaru has been fantastic on the Genji. I hope that even though they take it to Oasis, they keep him there on that comfort pick. They keep him on the Genji, or even the Tracer. His Tracer's been standout too.
Yeah, you know, and then on the side of XL2, you know, given the idea that we will probably not be seeing Nene, again, coming into the idea of Flower and Mangachu kind of having that versatility, like you had already brought up, this is going to play into the strengths that they have, into Mangachu's, you know, Pharah. We will see some of that Pharah play. There is a counter there already, but honestly, if we can keep Buds off of the Widowmaker, there's a chance.
Also, I do think that there is a world where you can run double projectile and have it be a thing. I realize that is not the most in vogue thing here, but given their relative strengths on their hero pools, if you run Mangachu on Pharah and then run Flower and Genji, that's fine. I feel like that could work in this situation.
Yeah. Where do you guys see this coming in as far as how we've seen EnVision, actually both EnVision and XL2, getting that stagger? We saw that kind of help turn the tide there on Dorado. Where are we going to see that come into play in Oasis?
Well, it's going to be kind of the similar story for Nepal, right? If they run in with a suboptimal composition and they continue after they lose that fight, that's where XL2 really do have to be a bit more aware about their composition. If they go in with something that's suboptimal, it doesn't work out for them, they need to swap instantly. They can't try and wait it out and constantly get staggered.
Alrighty, we are going to go into game. Last map, Dorado. Who's going to take it? XL2 or EnVision? And they are running Flower Mangachu.
Not a surprise, nor is it a surprise to see Mangachu on the Pharah, nor is it a surprise to see Buds back on Tracer. So this is a pretty decent position for XL2. They will need that contribution at Flower. Where this ride ends, Jamerson, nobody knows.
Flower's got to be careful here. Jaru's been really good with his hack so far when we do see that Sombra. So now as he tries to make his way into the back, it doesn't matter. Mangachu with a damage boosted rocket, Bud's got one shot.
Immediately, you get rid of one of the biggest threats, and XL2, they're gonna hunt this down. Normally, you'd be like, do we get a point? It's like, no, Tracer's gonna be back quickly, although Flower, a little bit too far out, not quite getting the boop as Mangachu. Still looking for Jaru, and almost gets him off the translocate. But you see EnVision going back the other way. Down goes Goliath, and XL2 might have bitten off more than can chew, as EnVision, once more, seeing the path to victory, moving back in. Buds has rejoined the fight.
And as the point unlocks, Mangachu falls. It's going to be EnVision. Take it away. They're just 200% away from walking away, becoming our second LAN finalist.
EnVision, of course, would love for that to be the case. XL2 has so much hype behind them. Anything other than going to the LAN finals would be somewhat of a disappointment for them. Mangachu coming in, back to the skies. Laying in the rocket spam, 78%. XL2 coming in off the ground game, still very good HP. Adam under pressure, manages the shake it. Cloman moves in. McGravy out. An early barrage from Megachu results in nothing. And XL2 not able to get what they need as Buds now gets to work.
Coalescence there to keep everyone topped off, and so EnVision will hold on. 38% now already accrued, inching ever so much closer to this victory. Of course, they had to go to map number 5 between these two teams. We knew it was going to be a coin flip. Who's going to win this matchup? They have been living up to the expectations so far. Now, XL2, Minkju is sticking with that Pharah here. He has to be careful. Jaru, he's going to have that EMP. He needs to stay up high or Goliath will get hacked.
Minkju staying in the skies. Cloman already down. EnVision took the initiative and caught XL2 off guard. Or no, they're just not in the right position. EnVision about one fight away here, Jamerson. 1-2 from taking this first round.
70%. And now EnVision, they've been really good with their ultimate economy on this map. I mean, it was just the EMP that was used. And so that's going to allow them to have 4 ultimates here, while XL2, they're going to have 4 of their own, possibly 5. Adam just needs to get a little bit more extra healing down.
And this is a make or break fight for XL2, the last chance here. Pulse bomb sticking from Buds. Do they fish up? No! Buds takes a rocket to the face instead. Buds out of the fight. Might not be in a good situation here where, of course, there is no res in play. He has to run back manually. Mangachu close to a barrage. He's going to go for it here in short order. No, he's hacked! Can't drop the rain when you are hacked in the moment. It gets McGravy off the side shot. Mangachu still in a good position. Is he got barrage here? No, not needed. Clearing house when XL2 needs it most. They're going to flip the point. But how long can they hold?
I don't know if they're going to be able to hold on to long, really, because, well, they used both of their support ultimates. Midnight and Mangachu, they have to come in clutch with either the barrage or the self-destruct. Me into this EnVision, they're going to have the EMP. They could just shut down the ultimates themselves.
You have to kill Jaru early or get an early pick before the EMP comes out. That's really what they have to look for. And now we look to Jaru, right, who can put EnVision over the top. He just lands as well. Dives into the back, gets that normal hack on the D.Va, doesn't EMP yet, uses the EMP later to get onto Winston, and Megachu blows himself up. Here comes EnVision, Jaru setting the stage. Really nice Sombra play, re-hacking the D.Va. That's going to be a DMAC, and EnVision now very, very close to taking this point back and getting the round.
So with that, Jaru, that was such a clean play. Get rid of the D.Va, then hack the Winston, and clean that all up. EnVision now about to take the first point as overtime ticks away. XL2, they barely make it on with Flower having to use that recall.
Meanwhile, Mangachu just laying in the rockets, not enough contest. McGravy plucks him out of the sky. And with Flower out, who's going to be left to contest? Not much at all. Goliath running for dear life. A little bit of stickiness for good measure. EnVision, they're in cleanup right now. This would be ridiculous if XL2 actually brought this back within the round. You have your tanks buying time, but you need a miracle if you're XL2, and that miracle just got exploded by a D.Va.
Jaru has been playing a bit more passive style with this Sombra than we're used to seeing him, and I think it might be catching XL2 off guard. He's constantly there when Flower's trying to be a threat in the back line, and of course the Tracer hacked is basically just dead. So Flower hasn't been able to be as impactful so far on this Tracer. And also, the tank line for XL2, having to continually be worried about that threat. It's so much to keep track of for Midnight and Clone Man.
This is a really dangerous composition that XL2 is coming out with. It's fine for the first engagement, but if they lose the first engagement here, and they don't swap, it is going to be GG to EnVision almost certainly. This is not a composition that's good at retaking. It's not a composition, it's a composition that must be holding instead. So how this first fight goes is going to be really vital.
Do they think this is University? This is so weird. You want the mobility because of the high ground here, and especially because Flower's on that McCree, you need to be able to keep that up. Instead, they're just going to go ahead and take the right-hand side. But Buds is already here in the back line. Goliath getting chucked down just a little bit.
I think they're hoping that maybe Buds gets a little bit over aggro, doesn't respect the Junkrat McCree, blows himself up. The issue here is that they're going to go deeper onto the point, use the middle for cover. But if they don't get it, what position are they in? iShiny gets hooked, but able to get around the other side. The hook breaks, and he's getting healed up all the while. Jaru hacking on the top, and XL2, while sturdy, not really pushing EnVision to the limit here either.
Adam was dropped low. Someone was able to make it back there. Midnight with another hook, but McGravy is there with the defense matrix to keep his teammate alive now. Point has been unlocked for quite some time, and it's going to be Buds to unlock the fight.
They're
possibly
on Adam right now after the res, and they're not able to finish it. They went all in to get Adam. They don't deny the res. Flower gets Jaru, and XL2's able to go back the other way. Uh-oh, goodbye. Tyre gets Crimzo, and XL2. They needed to get this first fight, and they're very close to doing just that.
Another hook onto Shiny, but he will be able to jump away to safety for now. They are just stalling this out, forcing out ultimates. Never mind, it's EnVision using the sound barrier. They think they've got something, but Mangachu has got something else to say as he takes out Jaru.
And they're playing the ground and pound surprisingly well for the verticality that this map has right now. XL2 in firm control, but they're not quite able to clear out the riffraff from the point as Buds blows up Mangachu. And again, look towards Adam here. Camp the body. Adam is very good about getting a little bit of space and diving on in. He might be going for the res as we speak. It's a little bit out of vision here, but no. Mangachu not going to be res back into a fight. They get Flower on the flip side. DPS going down for XL2, and EnVision might flip this back yet.
Coalescence now try to keep Midnight topped off, but that means Clone Man isn't receiving any healings. Buds will be able to finish him off. Another res onto Flower, and it's still going back and forth. Remember, this fight's been unlocked for about a good 2 minutes now. Here's the Riptire. Will this put the kibosh on it? Crimzo down once again to it, but more collateral damage as Shiny was in the area. And so finally, possibly, XL2 have opened this up.
Still contested. Lucio, by the way, skating on the point. Fire's just like, no one sees me. Well, they finally did in the end. And is this going to be a capture? Mercifully, it is. We've been in this point for a long time. We've seen many ultimates. And that was the first capture for XL2 getting on the board.
Yeah, Adam was able to build up the Valk. He used it, and you know that's a really long channel time. And he's already built up 70%. So, XL2, they hold on. They're trying to keep their tournament hopes alive. They're holding once again in this hallway. We'll see how good the dive is. The Coalescence comes out.
This is still fine for XL2. This composition will hold so long as they hold the point. It puts EnVision in a rough spot, but Jaru pierces on through, picks off 2 into the back, and this is gonna go right back the other way. You don't have the mobility in XL2's top to delay like EnVision can, and now they need to swap.
Jaru, he used that blade, he's built up another one. The stagger was just taking way too long. You gotta just reset, especially when you got cars right there. You can just jump off the ledge. Now, are we gonna see some swaps? Midnight has now gone over to that Diva, but Clone Man, he's sticking with the Theresa. This is an odd composition. I mean, we do see it on other maps, but generally it's payload maps.
This is not a great comp for this point. Maybe they get an early pickoff, but EnVision can delay this forever. Even if they get on the winning edge, EnVision can stall them out to 99% in most situations. The pulse pop stick, not quite. Flower just barely rolling out of it in time. XL2 contesting the point, but okay, they're over here on the other side. EnVision's just like, would you like to come fight us? It's kind of difficult. Jaru holding on to the blade, sees Flower, time the other side, gets fire, so one-man advance for XL2, but they have to deal with so many targets here.
Jaru almost got booped into that Deadeye, but Flower was picking up 2. He will fall for his efforts. They're able to res that back on in, so it's still a 6v4 in favor of XL2 right now. Midnight finally finishing off Jaru. With the Coalescence, will be able to finish the rest of EnVision off.
So that was about the best case scenario for XL2 here. They still haven't quite gone. They still have delay coming in, but it might not quite be the 99% nightmare scenario here. In fact, they are able to bring it back quicker than expected with its composition. So that went well for XL2. Now let's see if they can hold it, as EnVision has so many ults up.
Yeah, this is no longer 2017 Oasis, where we go to 99 to 99 over and over again with extended overtime. But now, XL2, they have to face off against Jaru's Blade once again because neither side has been running really... Zenyatta is going to be difficult to try and counter this. They're going in for the dive. Once again, Bud's already spotted out. The back line, Pulse Bomb, does not connect.
Doesn't hit, but Crimzo gets a supercharger.
Oh!
No! Play in traffic! Get moved in traffic! Oh my word! Flower! Oh my goodness! I hope that driver had incidental insurance. As he's taken down. He's playing too close to traffic. Adam is not going to get that res. And EnVision's going to be retaking this in short order. Oh dear.
Shiny just with the hit and run. Just forces them all out there. That was true bowling of the fullest extent now. It's coming down to this. EnVision getting close to 90%. About to lock their ticket in to our LAN finals. They just need one more team fight win.
And XL2, they can't swap at this point. They have to hope for a tremendous tire from Mangachu here. And they can't get blown up by this D.Va ult. D.Va ult, gonna be splitting them though. Mangachu really off his own. Got Crimzo off the flank and sets him up for the tire. Tire's gonna be coming in soon. Mangachu's picked off one on his own. Bud's oversteps. Oh no! Mangachu dove on. There won't be a tire, but this has still gone well for XL2. Far better than expected. As Goliath gets kill after kill, they're still in it.
All right, I misspoke just a little bit. Now it's the last fight, EnVision. You need to win this fight. Come on, guys. You're 1 point away. As we move into this, Jaru still has that blade, but he doesn't have the backup. They don't have the time to build up a Coalescence or a blade, but Mangachu's got the tire.
XL2 is their own traffic. They don't have to use other cars. They got the tire of their... Oh, no. The rewind gets out of the danger. The tire gets nothing. Here comes EnVision. Dragon Blade now up for Jaru, looking for victims on all sides. Up, challenging Mangachu, gonna reflect a mine or two.
Oh,
Under
no.
damage, down he goes. Midnight catches him after the trap. There will be no Dragon Blade unless he gets brought back up, but there's no mercy, so that can't happen. EnVision fighting for their lives now here in this round. They do have a round buffer. Both Winston's out of the fight, and who knows how long this one will go.
They've answered back. It's going back and forth. The Coalescence have been enough to keep the tanks alive. McGravy's going to be able to self-destruct just to get back into his mech. Midnight drop low will get D-Mech now. He doesn't have a self-destruct, and he falls to Buds. Jaru is going to be back. He's got the blade. He wants to finish this all off, but it doesn't matter because Buds is the one
Overtime's
that's
already
killing
gone.
everyone.
It's
Overtime
over.
takes away, and EnVision will be our second LAN finalist.
Oh.
Congratulations, EnVision. You're heading to Poland. You guys, I feel like you guys need to head to the bar after this. You need to calm down because that was intense.
That was crazy. Absolutely crazy.
XL2 really almost had it right up until the very end.
But that's just Oasis City Center. We are used to the swing back and forth between these two teams. Things look so great. Jaru steps into a trap. Everyone's there to finish him. But of course, it is City Center. You have long extended team fights. Jaru's able to get back, but most importantly, Buds has time to work with, and you do not want to allow Buds that kind of freedom.
Oh, absolutely not. And look, going into this, XL2 got more mileage out of their comp than I think you could reasonably expect. EnVision had trouble dealing with it at points, but in the end, EnVision still had an easier time delaying, an easier time getting back into the fight. And when XL2 lost the fight, they were out of it. When EnVision lost the fight, they had way more room to come back in and continue the delay.
Can you talk a little bit about what made that team composition so risky on Oasis?
It's not mobile. If you lose a fighter or two there, you can't do what EnVision was doing on a losing fight and just spread out and delay forever. I mean, look, you have McCree, Orisa. Orisa's not known for her ability to jump despite looking like a horse, nor is McCree known for being particularly agile. Well, Cowboys usually aren't in general. So look, either way, they don't have the ability to sort of turn a losing fight into a really extended fight, which makes it hard on that map when the other team could do that in a bad engagement.
Yeah, if you lose someone in that fight because of the nature of the spawns and the gap closers, the movement abilities of the dive heroes, of the Winston, D.Va, Tracer, and the Genji, you just need to buy 15 seconds for that person to get back into the fight. And so that's what they were able to do. That's what we're used to seeing. Also, back when it was like Far Mercies, it became very difficult to finish off team fights. And that was definitely not the strength of that Junkrat along with McCree kind of lineup. They had to walk down the rest of the members that were staggering coming up from EnVision. Now, EnVision didn't get as much mileage as we're used to seeing, but still getting up to 45, 50% was kind of the difference maker there.
Yeah, you know, speaking of heroes that are mobile and speaking of Genjis, we had Jaru. You know, honestly, it comes down to the mobility, and this...
I don't care about Jaru here.
Yeah.
This is...
I don't care about Jaru. I only care about the monkey pushing people in the traffic. That's all I need.
I mean, he didn't even get an assist on that one.
Rude.
I mean, it was intimidating.
Yeah.
It pushed them further back by the power of intimidation.
But this was the most worrying part. When you're running that composition, it is slow, it is immobile. You're trying to limit your threats by going into that corridor, but by going into that corridor, you leave yourselves as vulnerable targets. It's so easy for the dive to just get on top of you. So that composition just really worked against itself, especially against the dive.
You know, and I know we've talked about it quite a bit, but I just want to reiterate, the issue of the server was really life and death for XL2 on this series and this matchup. Not being able to be consistent with Nene, I feel like coming in, this is a wake-up call. I'm not saying they didn't already have one, but this is definitely a wake-up call to XL2 to get all of their players in, especially when it comes down to the finals like this. You need to get everybody on the same page to everybody can be local, everybody can be boot camping, because with Nene, that would have been a completely different map.
Now, to XL2's defense, I mean, we don't know the full circumstances of their situation. Sometimes it can just be hard getting a visa for a player for an event like this, as far as getting them through and into the country. So there is a possibility that they wanted to get Nene in, and then he just got stuck in customs. I mean, it's hard to say. For some teams, it's cost. Other teams, it's getting visas is hard. I don't know which for XL2.
Yeah, especially with the age restrictions and everything. So, you know, you have to sign away guardianship or sign legal guardianship over to someone within the team. I know we did have to do a lot of that for like World Cup to make sure that our younger players, I believe it was like Agilities and others, could actually compete. So it's a lot of things that do hold the teams back.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at our Old Spice player of the match, because it is well-deserved, and it's no surprise, as usual, it's going to be Buds. This is Buds on Widowmaker, but you could have had Buds on Tracer just as easily.
It was a long match, right? This was our second match of the day, and this one went to map number 5. We knew it was going to go the distance here, but Buds was able to keep up the performance all series long, and that's what you're looking for, right, when you're going to the Overwatch League, because you're going to have 4 maps all the time. You want to see these players that have the stamina to be able to keep up this high-level play the entire way through.
Man, I could just watch that snipe onto Mercy there on repeat.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was such a good shot. He had, like, the smallest windows. Yes, he had Reek on site, but...
After about 5
man.
months of Super Valk, you're kind of like, yeah. You like seeing that.
It's like, you're going to die. Oh, you got hit. Not just hit, but hit in the head, man.
Yeah. It was beautiful. This was beautiful Widowmaker play coming up for Buds, and we were expecting, you know, Nene to have, like, really pop off, but Buds was the one who really walked away with the show, even though EnVision lost this map.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a pause. It's just, you know, it's been a really incredible night. Toronto as well, playing absolutely on point, everything that they needed to do, and really both teams were getting put through their paces. So when we see them at LAN in Poland, we're going to see kind of the best of the best, and that's the way it's meant to be. So Toronto and EnVision, they're getting to go to best of 4. So congratulations to both of those teams.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting to see these guys play in live environment because, look, in Overwatch, we have seen players perform differently in that live environment to both ends. Some players get very nervous, and we don't see quite the same reaction from them, and yet some players rise above and beyond and give us an even higher level of play. Where will these teams end up? I don't know, but I'm very excited to see.
All right, let's check out what we have in store for us here on Tuesday. Coming up at 4 p.m. Tuesday, Fusion University against Mayhem Academy. 6 p.m., Gladiators Legion against Optic Academy. And if I had to venture a wager, I would say between those two, you guys are more curious about Gladiators versus Optic.
I'm actually curious about Fusion University versus Mayhem Academy because even though Fusion University are the first seed coming out from Group B, it was a very difficult road for them to actually get there. 3-2s down the line, except for that 4-0 up against Bye-Week. So there is actually a huge chance for Mayhem Academy to walk away with what someone would call the upset.
It's sort of funny because talking with pro players across the scene, most of them will go, of course Fusion is going to beat Mayhem. A lot of them sort of have mixed feelings on how strong Mayhem is, and yet, on the same note, from the casting point of view, it's like, wait, Fusion is really bad at dealing with opponents and crushing them aside from bye week. And it's like, that could still go either way. And that would be one heck of a story for Fusion to be undefeated the entire way through. And for Mayhem to be like, I actually got this. And of course, that would mean that Mikey A gets another trip to LAN where who knows what goes on there, but usually good.
And that's the most important thing. You never, ever discount Mikey A when it comes to these kind of clutch situations because he has a way of making them work.
Alrighty, guys, that is it for us tonight. We have seen some incredible play. Again, congratulations